Joe Biden, you will reap what you sow, because you made some statements. I believe it was about Brett Kavanaugh. But Joe Biden has also made a statement recently about white man's culture and violence towards women. And for years, we have known that Joe Biden is a lecherous old creep. Like, come on, man. The weirdest thing is how the Democrats are trying to defend him. Why? Let him go. Let him go. He's a creepy dude. If you're not familiar, and I'm assuming you are, Joe Biden like grabs women from behind. Look at this. Look at this photo. New York Post. No more liberties. And you've got Joe. This is called Joe Bidening. It's where you walk up to a woman, you put your hands on their shoulder, you sniff their head and kiss them. And it's creepy. Well, we have this story from the New York Post. It's an opinion piece. Joe Biden is damned by his own harassment standard. Addressing charges that Joe Biden behaved inappropriately toward former Nevada legislator Lucy Flores, a spokesperson for the likely presidential candidate said, neither then nor in the years since did he or the staff with him at the time have any inkling that Miss Flores had been at any time uncomfortable, nor do they recall what she describes. Excellent statement, spokesperson for Biden. Let's clarify this. Joe Biden's personal company, I don't mean like a business company, I mean like the people around him, believe that if you assault a woman, I know assault may be a little heavy-handed. If you physically invade a woman's privacy in a sexual nature, so long as she doesn't express discomfort, everything's okay. Where's the line, Joe? You can't walk up to women, grab them, sniff them, and kiss them, and then say, well, but she didn't seem upset, so it must have been okay. What? Dude, my God. Standards, people. Flores has alleged that at a 2014 campaign appearance, then Vice President Joe Biden leaned in behind her, inhaled her hair, and proceeded to plant a big, slow kiss on the back of her head. Oh, God, could you, please. Imagine, I want you to really imagine and imagine the feeling, the physical feeling of Joe Biden rubbing your shoulders, sniffing you, and kissing you on the head. Doesn't it give you the heebie-jeebies? But no. Here's the best part. He said, no one had an inkling that she had been upset or uncomfortable. So it's not that she was actually uncomfortable or said anything. It was because you didn't think she was uncomfortable. That made it okay for all these years and to keep doing it. She described behavior that it's least creepy and goes well beyond what could be expected of a tactile politician such as Biden. On the other hand, there appears to be no video of the interaction between Biden and Flores, and no witness has come forth to corroborate her account. As a prominent Bernie Sanders supporter in 2016, who seems eager to back a non-Biden candidate in 2020, Flores might have a political motive to exaggerate her recollection. Going on the evidence that now exists, her charge is hard to evaluate. Hold on there, New York Post. How many videos do we have of Joe Biden doing exactly this to a bunch of women and young girls? Dude. There's how many videos of little girls pulling away from Joe as he tries to kiss or touch them? Sorry, dude, not okay. Look, I get it. It's one thing to kiss a baby. Like when a lady's holding a baby and the baby's just going like, nah, and you kiss him on the head. It's another thing to go to a little girl or a grown woman or anybody and start squeezing their shoulders and putting your hand around their waist. There's some photos of Biden I don't even want to get into because I don't want to get too graphic, but it looks like he's going in for a grope. If you were to ask me, he's trying to get a side feel on what he puts his arm around the woman, goes for that side feel. Yeah, not okay. But the point they're bringing up is that it doesn't matter if there's evidence, because by Joe Biden's own standards, he's sunk himself. According to the standards of culpability that Biden has articulated in similarly conflicted situations, however, it's an open and shut case. Perhaps no major American political figure has so consistently championed the erosion of due process for those accused of sexual misconduct. Even if Flores' claims might be unprovable, distorted, or simply wrong, changing the culture about sexual misconduct and mistreatment of women requires that we accept her version of events. Biden will now learn firsthand how the mantra of believe all survivors has the effect of presuming the guilt of the accused. Oh, but come on. I get the point you're trying to make here, New York Post, but we know Biden's guilty. In this particular instance, we don't. But how many photos have we seen? How many videos have we seen of him doing this? Biden has certainly championed this approach for accused college students as the Obama administration used Title IX to impose guilt-tilting procedures on the nation's campuses. Until 2016, high-ranking administration officials consistently refused to provide much, if any, explanation on why they imposed a preponderance of evidence standard. discouraged colleges from granting accused students the right to cross-examination, or demanded that schools let accusers appeal not guilty findings. Biden has been the most outspoken senior Obama administration figure to defend these policies. In a 2017 appearance at George Mason University, he framed campus sexual assault as a problem consisting solely of male attackers and female victims. Guys, a woman who is dead drunk cannot consent. You are raping her. We've got to talk about this. Consent requires affirmative consent. If you can't get her to say yes because she wants to, you ain't much. He used an interview with Teen Vogue to give a hypothetical address to fraternity members. If you see a brother taking a drunk freshman co-ed up the stairs to his room and you do nothing, you're a coward. You know that she's not able to give consent. And I just do a pause for the honorable mention of, and the same goes for women bringing up drunk dudes too, right? It goes both ways. Biden responded with fury to Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos's attempts to create fairer procedures for adjudicating campus sexual assault claims. In a September 2017 conference call with victims' rights activists, the former vice president derided DeVos's supporters as culturally Neanderthals. That's really interesting. Let me ask you a question. You can comment on this in the description below. In the comment section below. Who's culturally who's a culturally Neanderthal? Whatever that means. Is it excuse me, is it the young men who think there should be due process, or the old guy who gropes women? I'll give you a few seconds. You can go down, you can comment. Who do you It's just going to be a wave of comments saying Joe Biden. Joe Biden's culturally Neanderthal. Yeah. Biden's approach to campus sexual misconduct effectively reverses Blackstone's central premise of common law. To undo the injustices of the past, this new tenet holds: it is better that 10 innocents suffer than one clearly guilty student escape. If this approach requires a presumption of guilt that sweeps up the innocent and the almost certainly innocent as well as the guilty, that's a price that society and, of course, the innocent must pay. But here's the thing about Blackstone's formulation, or the inversion of. If you are content with locking up the innocent, it means you overlook the guilty. Let's say person A commits a crime. You do not have a rigorous standard. You arrest person B and say presumption of guilt, you've been arrested. Once that person's arrested, person B, the guilty person, the person who actually committed the crime, is no longer being sought after. This is why presumption of guilt is dangerous. You actually let criminals go. Presumption of innocence is important because you seek to always make sure you get the right person. Biden's current situation recalls that of former Senator Al Franken, who bitterly criticized DeVos's Title IX policies only to flail about in defending himself against allegations mostly less serious than what Biden faces of sexual misconduct. Ideologically boxed in, Franken couldn't defend himself by challenging his accuser's veracity, lest he appear to reject the party's consensus about believing all complainants. Yes, Joe Biden, we must believe all women, and that means you're a creepy dude. Why should we give you any special privileges? Interestingly, I think, I don't have this pulled up, but Alyssa Milano, who was sitting in the Kavanaugh hearing with something that said, like, believe all women, now says she doesn't believe all women. It's very politically expedient to only believe the women who push forward your political ideology. This is why I hate tribes. This is why I don't like left, right, up, down, whatever group. I don't want to have anything to do with you because I feel like for the most part, groups are they just act in what could be considered politically expedient manners. However, I will point out, Republicans, to their detriment, often abide by many of the outrage mob rules. Notably, we saw a Federalist writer, Denise McAllister. She was removed as a contributor, from the Daily Wire and fired from the Federalist for insulting journalist Yashar Ali for being gay. Now, I don't know if it's the right idea to fire her over, especially if she apologized. I do think it was inappropriate for many, many reasons. Right? It makes it makes Daily Wire and Federalist look really bad, like you have no real argument against Yashar. But this is them firing someone for hate speech. So the right at least sometimes does say, you know what, we're going to abide by these same standards, and even terminates their own. What happens when Joe Biden gets accused? Alyssa Milano comes out, well, Nancy Pelosi, not Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein. And then we had Micah Brzezinski going, well, like, yes, I get it. When Brett Kavanaugh was bad for you, you said, believe all women. What do you mean? And now that it's Joe Biden, who we've known for years is doing this, you're like, well, hold on. He's just being affectionate and flirtatious, which is not appropriate either way. Imagine if in business, A woman claimed that her boss came up to her and was like putting his hand around her waist, squeezing her shoulders, inhaling, like sniffing her hair, and then kissing her on the head. And then when she sued for sexual harassment, he won because I was just being affectionate. No, sorry, that's not how it works. In an ideal world, Joe Biden would use his new experience as an accused party to champion fair treatment across the board. More likely, he will fall back on a double standard, demanding that he receive the benefit of the doubt denied to others, especially students with far less power that he possesses. Yes, because they don't want accountability for their own. No one does. It's rare. But again, I will highlight getting rid of, McAllister from these two outlets shows that at least conservatives to some degree will police their own. In this instance, though, man, I'm seeing all the stops be pulled out. People are just trying to bend over backwards to protect Biden because they want him to run against Trump. I don't like it. But I got one more video coming up in a few minutes. I will see you shortly.